Hey, what's up guys? It's Dean Soto here with another video and today's title is Consistency Beats Everything. And I did a podcast on sort of this topic. If you want to check that out, I don't want to make this video the same exact thing as the podcast, but I had a friend who recently got laid off from a group that I was from an organization that I used to help a while back. And long and the short with that particular organization was that there was a lot of inconsistencies. When something wasn't working or didn't seem to be working, the modus operandi, or the way that it was solved, was to try something completely different. And I don't, this is not meant to knock on the company or anything like that. And you can go listen. If you go to Freedom in 5 Minutes, search that on Apple, you could see that. Okay, and I'm kind of a little grungy today, but just bear with me. I wonder if my doggy's gonna hear me or not. But so the whole thing, the whole reason for this, let me see if I can tilt this a little bit better. Seems like it's a little tilted the wrong way. Anyway, so one of the fallacies that a lot of entrepreneurs face is that they need to have multiple streams of income. And while that is true in a sense, a lot of the time it's used as an excuse. It's used as an excuse to not stick with something. It's used as an excuse to if you don't see results right away within a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and so on, it can be used as a means to say, oh well, this isn't working, therefore I'm going to go from being a web development consultant to a social media consultant, right? And with this particular company that I used to work with, it things would shift a lot, and it would be these major business model changes all the time. A new idea would come, and oh, we're gonna switch everything up and start going toward that new idea. And what I've found is that the more consistent you are, even if something doesn't seem to be working right away, the more consistent that you are, the more results almost seem to compound over time. If you've been in the entrepreneur game for a while, and you are seeing success, a lot of the times you'll notice that there are going to be these people that you see from time to time that, you know, you saw them one year and they're that web developer, and the next year they are now doing copywriting, and the next year they're doing social media management, and the next year they're doing something else, and so on and so forth. A lot of that is like it basically is a defense mechanism, and it's a defense mechanism against fear. The fear is that if I stick with one thing, two things actually. One, I might fail, or it might succeed, because some people are actually afraid of succeeding, right? Check on the ladies. Hey ladies, how you doing? How you doing, ladies? See if you can see them. There they are, right there. You see them? See those chicks? Literally those chicks. Right there. Anyway, I just ruined my stabilizer. Okay. But it's a defense mechanism. And that defense mechanism tricks you into thinking that, oh, well, if I have this business and that business and I move over here and I do this and I do that, it provides stability, it provides security. When in fact, the consistency in what you're doing provides the most security, because you see, as your business is moving, as your business is growing, people are talking about it. People want to put you in a box. People want to be able to spread your message to other people, especially obviously if they like you. Because I would have my father-in-law, every year my father-in-law would ask, oh, so what do you, so the guys, my friends want to know exactly what you're doing. And, I try to explain what you were doing, and I didn't know exactly how to explain it. And it was because I kept on changing. See, I'm guilty of this too. I'm totally guilty of this. And it was because I kept on changing what I was doing, right? Out of fear of that consistency. And so what is the whole point of this? Is that actually, right before we get to the kind of the point of it, is that my father-in-law wanted to be able to tell his friends, tell people whom could potentially hire me or whatever, exactly what I do. But I wasn't giving him, because I was constantly changing, he could never pin down and say, okay, cool, now I can go and tell all these people. And so that's just one reason. There's a number of other reasons why consistency just beats out everything, okay? Now, one thing that I was consistent was my ideas of systems and with virtual assistants, with outsourcing overseas. That kept my costs low so that I knew that I was going to beat out that other company in the long term and would never have to lay off people or anything like that. That was definitely one thing that I was consistent in. But all this being said, why is this important? It's important because if you find yourself going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, you could potentially be doing the exact same thing that I was doing and what a lot of other people were doing. And what a lot of other people were doing is using that inconsistency as kind of an excuse and a mask to be as safe as possible, right? And so what's one thing right now that you find yourself just constantly changing? Constantly changing. And because you don't necessarily see results right away. It might be your diet. It might be your exercise routine. It might be how you interact with your family. It might be like a marital counselor. It might be your business. It might be something. But there's something that it's just very hard to stick with. Maybe you're doing CrossFit one day. Hey, baby. You found me. You found me. Say hi. Say hi. Yay. Good baby. Here's a good baby. Good job. Good baby. But there's something, right? There's something that you are constantly changing. And what's that one thing? I just challenge you to make a plan to at least stick with it for a year and keep going with it. Because that's the only way you can start compounding that success. So anyway, that's it for now. Just wanted to share that story and share some insights that I've been learning as well. So Dean Soto with ProSaloon.com. If you ever want a virtual assistant that can duplicate everything you're doing in as little as 5 minutes with systems and processes, go to ProSaloon.com, ProSulum.com, and we'll see you next time. Bye.